Today, tourists walk on Omaha Beach. Children build sandcastles. Couples in love take photos at sunset. Waves gently roll onto the shore. The sun shines. The sea is blue and calm. A beautiful place. A peaceful place. But there's a man who sees this beach differently. When he looks at the waves, he sees something else. Where tourists see waves, I see the faces of drowning men. Ray Lambert, medic of the 16th Infantry Regiment, landed in the first wave on June 6, 1944. What he saw that morning changed him forever. This is the story of a man who saved lives in hell. The story of a medic who ran into fire without a weapon, again and again, until the sea turned red. This is the story of June 6th, but not the one you know. Alabama, the 1920s. Ray Lambert grows up in a poor family in the South. Hard work, little money, but much love. His parents taught him one simple rule: help others. This rule entered his flesh and blood. When a neighbor needs help on the farm, Ray is there. When someone is sick, Ray brings food. When his younger brother gets in trouble, Ray defends him. Helping, it's his nature. December 7th, 1941. Pearl Harbor. America enters the war. Ray is 21 years old. He could have waited for the draft. Could have tried to get a deferment. He works in construction, important for the economy. But Ray joins the Army voluntarily. Not infantry, not artillery. He chooses the medic specialty. I wanted to save lives, not take them. Military medical training. Months of instruction. How to stop bleeding. How to apply a tourniquet. How to give morphine. How to work under fire. Theory is one thing. Reality is something completely different. 16th Infantry Regiment, 1st Infantry Division. Nickname: Big Red 1. After the red number 1 on their shoulder patch. One of the most famous American divisions, and one of the most experienced. November 1942. North African Campaign. Ray's first baptism of fire. He sees death for the first time. Not in a textbook, not in training. In real life, a wounded soldier, stomach torn by shrapnel. Ray tries to help, does everything he was taught, but the soldier dies in his arms. The first, but not the last. July 1943. Sicily. Landing. More battles. More wounded. But now Ray knows what to do. He learned. From experience. From mistakes. From deaths. He saves dozens of lives. Works under fire. Runs across the battlefield with a red cross on his helmet. Red Cross. International symbol of medical services. By convention, medics aren't shot at. By convention. In reality, the Red Cross is a target. Spring 1944. England. The 1st Infantry Division is transferred to Britain. Training. Practice landings on beaches. Again, and again, and again. No one says where, but everyone knows. Invasion. Soon. Ray understands. This will be different from North Africa, different from Sicily. This will be bigger, more terrible, bloodier. He prepares, checks his equipment, again and again. Bandages, morphine, sulfanilamide powder, against infection, blood plasma, tourniquets, scissors, everything that can fit in a medical bag. Ray has a younger brother. His name is Lambert, too. He's also a medic. And he's also in the 1st Division. They made a promise to each other. A simple promise. Both survive. See you on the other shore. They didn't know what price would have to be paid for this promise. Act 2. June 6th, 1944. Dawn. June 5th. Late evening. The English Channel. Landing ships rock on the waves. The sea is rough. Storm. Waves 2 meters high. Vessels roll from side to side. Inside the holds, Thousands of soldiers. Some are seasick. Some write their last letter home. Some pray. Some joke, hiding fear. Some just stay silent, staring into the darkness. Ray Lambert sits in his place checking medical equipment for the fourth time that day, then the fifth. Bandages, check. Morphine, check. Sulfanilamide, check. Plasma, check. He doesn't know one thing. This won't be enough. Not even close to enough. Deep night. Briefing. Officers explain the plan one last time. Sector Omaha. 10 kilometers of beach between Vierville and Colleville. Open shore. Behind it, cliffs up to 30 meters high. German fortifications on the cliffs. Pillboxes. Bunkers. Machine gun nests. But don't worry, say the officers. Preliminary bombardment will destroy their defenses. The fleet will cover the shore with fire. The landing will be quick. Resistance minimal. Soldiers listen. Some believe, some don't. Ray doesn't believe. He has a bad feeling. Something about this sounds too simple. War is never simple. What really happened? The bombardment missed. 350 heavy B-17 bombers dropped thousands of tons of bombs. But because of clouds and fear of hitting their own ships, the bombs fell in fields behind the beach, kilometers from German fortifications. German defenses intact and waiting. More than that. American intelligence didn't know that the 352nd Infantry Division of the Wehrmacht had recently reinforced the sector. Experienced soldiers, Eastern Front veterans, they know how to fight. This will be slaughter. June 6th, 0:30 hours. Operation begins. Landing craft are lowered into the water. Waves splash over the sides. Engines roar. 30 men in each craft, packed tight, knee to knee. Ray is in the very first craft. First wave, first on shore. Distance to beach, 5 kilometers. Travel time, 30 minutes. The longest 30 minutes of their lives. The craft goes through the storm. Waves hit the side. Water fills the bottom. Soldiers bail with helmets. Useless. More and more water. Someone vomits, the clang of helmet against hull. Heavy breathing. Engine roars. No one speaks. Ray sits, clutching his medical bag. 30 to 40 kilograms of equipment on each soldier. Ray has additional medical supplies too. If you fall in the water, you'll drown. 0:45. Somewhere ahead in the darkness, the coast of France. 0:50. It begins to lighten. Gray dawn. 0:55. In the distance, thunder. Naval artillery begins shelling the beach. Thousands of shells fly over the assault troops' heads. Whistle, howl. Explosions on shore. Destroying German defenses, think the soldiers. But the shelling is too short, too inaccurate. German bunkers are concrete and steel. Naval shells don't penetrate them. 6 o'clock in the morning, 2 kilometers to shore. Ahead. Explosions. Water columns. Landing craft under fire. German artillery opened fire. One vessel explodes. Direct hit. 30 men. Gone. Another craft flips from the blast wave. Soldiers in the water. With heavy equipment. They drown. Radio explodes with screams. We're under fire! Heavy casualties! 6:45. 300 meters to shore. The craft commander shouts, "Get ready!" Soldiers stand up. Check weapons. Ray checks his bag. Last time. 100 meters. 50. 25. Bottom. The craft scrapes on sand. The ramp is about to drop. 6:58. The commander shouts, "Go!" Metallic clang. The ramp falls. And hell begins. Omaha Beach, June 6th, 1944. The bloodiest landing sector in Normandy. Ray Lambert, first wave medic. The next hours will determine who survives and who doesn't. Ray's story is the story of thousands of World War II medics, people without weapons, running toward fire, saving lives when death is all around. On this channel, we tell such stories every day. Stories of those who deserve to be heard. If this matters to you, we'd be glad to have you among our listeners. And now, let's return to Omaha Beach, to where the sea turned red. Act 3. Hell on the Beach. The first 3 soldiers fall instantly. Machine gun fire point blank. German MG-42. 200 rounds per minute. Line of fire directly at the ramp. The water turns red. Ray Lambert steps into hell. He jumps over the bodies of comrades. Water to his chest. Cold. Salty. With a taste of blood. Heavy equipment pulls down, but he must go. Forward. To shore. Around. Whistling. It's bullets in water. Characteristic whistle. Those who heard it never forget. Explosions. Water columns. Mines. Artillery. Mortars. Screams. Wounded! Help! Mother! Ray looks right. A soldier falls. Bullet in the leg. He screams. Tries to stand. Falls again. Water already to his neck. Ray rushes to him. Grabs the backpack straps. Drags. Another soldier helps. The 3 of them move toward shore. 50 meters through water, through fire, through death. They crawl onto the beach. Onto the beach, where it's even worse. Omaha Beach, 200 meters of open space. Flat, sand, no cover. From 3 sides, German machine guns, in pillboxes on the cliffs. Perfect firing angles. Every centimeter of beach is in the line of fire. Mortars, artillery, snipers, perfect kill zone. And the Americans on it, like targets in a shooting gallery. Ray looks around, bodies everywhere. Some are moving, wounded, some motionless, dead. Some just lying, in shock, paralyzed by fear. Tanks burning in the water. DD amphibious tanks that were supposed to support the infantry. Most sank in the sea, waves too big. Engineer sappers trying to clear paths through obstacles. Anti-tank hedgehogs, Belgian gates, mines, explosions, more explosions. Officers trying to organize advancement. Some shout commands, some are already dead. And all around, wounded. Dozens. Hundreds. They call for medics. Medic! Medic, over here! Ray hears. He drags the first wounded man to an anti-tank hedgehog. At least some cover. First wounded man. Stomach. Very bad. Body armor was just issued, but not to everyone. This one didn't get any. Ray tears the shirt, looks at the wound. Intestines outside. Blood. So much blood. He tries to stop the bleeding. Bandage. Sulfanilamide, against infection. Morphine, against pain. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. They'll evacuate you. The soldier looks at him, eyes wide open. He understands. In a minute, he's dead. Ray closes his eyes, takes his bag, runs to the next one. Second wounded man, leg torn off below the knee. Mine fragment, tourniquet. Fast, tight, above the wound. Stop the blood. Sulfanilamide powder. Pour into wound. Morphine, syringe to thigh, bandage. You'll live. Hear me? You'll live. This one will survive if he's evacuated. But evacuation. The sea is still under fire. Craft can't approach. 3rd, 4th, 5th. Ray runs from wounded to wounded. Crawls, runs, under fire. Bullets kick up sand near his feet. Explosions. Shrapnel whistles overhead. His medical bag empties. Bandages, gone. Takes from dead medics. Their bags are full. They don't need them anymore. Morphine running out. Need to conserve. Gives only to those with the worst pain. German snipers target medics. Red Cross on helmet, on armband. Not protection. It's a target. Germans know. Kill a medic. Soldiers are more demoralized. Wounded die. Morale drops. War crime? Yes. But here, on this beach, conventions don't work. 7:30. 30 minutes have passed. First wave casualties. More than 50%. Of 30 men in Ray's craft, less than half are alive. Of 20 first wave medics in Dog Green sector, only 3 are alive. 3 out of 20. Ray is one of them. A bullet hits his arm, burning pain. Blood. He doesn't stop, keeps running to the wounded man ahead, gets there, helps, then bandages his own arm while moving. Strap from a dead man's helmet as tourniquet, piece of shirt as bandage. Give himself morphine? No. Morphine is needed for others. Keeps working. A scream. Familiar voice. Ray freezes. He would recognize that voice among thousands. His brother. He looks toward the water's edge, where waves lick the sand. A man lies there. Uniform soaked, red stain on chest. His younger brother. Wounded. Ray doesn't think. He crawls. 50 meters across open beach. Bullets whistle. Sand explodes nearby. Mortar. Shrapnel. One grazes his back. Pain. Ignore it. Crawls. 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 Gets there. Turns his brother over. Face white. Breathing heavy. Gurgling. Blood on lips. Bullet in chest. Lung. Pneumothorax. Need airtight dressing. Now. Otherwise air will enter chest cavity. Lung will collapse. He'll suffocate. Ray tears the package. Plastic film. Places on wound. Sticks it. 3 sides sealed. 1 open. Valve effect. Air exits, but doesn't enter. Morphine. Syringe. Into shoulder. You promised to survive. Keep your promise. His brother looks at him. Tries to smile. Can't. Another soldier crawls up. Helps. Together they drag the brother to cover. 20 meters. 10. 5. Behind an anti-tank hedgehog. Brother's alive. Still alive. Act 4. Heroism and the turning point. 8 o'clock in the morning. 2 hours since landing began. Troops pinned to the beach. Progress minimal. Some units advance 10 to 20 meters. Some still at the water. Command on ships discusses. Continue or evacuate. Casualties too high. This is failure. But soldiers on the beach don't know about these discussions. They just continue. Do their job. Ray Lambert works without stopping. Already wounded 3 times. Arm. Leg. Shrapnel in thigh. Back. Scratch from another fragment. Blood. Pain. He ignores it. Keeps working. Lost count of wounded. 20? 30? 50? Hands covered in blood. Uniform soaked with blood. Others. His own. Can't tell anymore. Supplies gone. Everything. No bandages. No morphine. No sulfanilamide. What to do? Improvise. Straps from helmets. As tourniquets. Shirts from dead. As bandage material. Seawater. To wash wound. Shake off sand by hand. Primitive. But it's better than nothing. 9 o'clock. The drowning incident. Ray looks around. Looks at the sea. Tide is rising. A soldier in the water. Wounded. Can't move. Lying on a sandbar. 15 minutes ago it was dry there. Now. Water. And it's rising. Already to his chin. 5 more minutes. And he'll drown. Ray runs into the water. Under fire. Again. 50 meters through water. To his knees. To his waist. To his chest. Grabs the soldier. Drags. A wave covers them both. They go under. Surface. The soldier coughs. Chokes. Ray holds his head above water. Drags. Step. Another step. A bullet passes nearby. Whistle in water. Another step. Another. They reach the shore. Fall on sand. Breathe. The soldier is alive. 12 o'clock. Noon. 6 hours since landing began. Situation begins to change. Rangers, on the right, captured Point du Hoc. Destroyed German battery. Sappers punched paths through obstacles. Tanks, finally on shore. Troops begin to advance inland, slowly, meter by meter, but advancing. But the beach is still under fire. Wounded still there. and medics still working. 1,300 hours. Medical officer finds Ray. "Lambert, you're wounded." I look at you. 3 wounds. Minimum. Evacuation. That's an order. Ray looks at him. "While there are wounded here, I'm staying." "That's an order, Lambert." "With respect, sir." "No." The officer looks at him, nods, leaves. Ray continues working. 1,600 hours. Evening, 10 hours since landing began. Ray is still on the beach, still working. Another wounded man. Another. Then, darkness. He loses consciousness. Blood loss. Exhaustion. Shock. Falls. Other medics find him, put him on a stretcher, carry to craft, evacuation, hospital ship, then England. Ray Lambert spent 10 hours on Omaha Beach, saved dozens of lives, was wounded 4 times in one day, and survived. Act 5, The Medic's Legacy. 6 weeks of recovery in England. Ray lies in a hospital bed. Arms bandaged, leg in cast, back hurts. But he's alive. His brother's alive too. In another hospital. Severe wound. But he'll pull through. They kept their promise. Both survived. But how many other promises were broken on that beach? The price of Omaha Beach, the bloodiest landing sector. First wave, 50 to 70% casualties in some units. Total casualties of the day, about 2,400 killed, missing, wounded. Only at Omaha, in one day. Dog Green sector, where Ray landed, almost completely destroyed. But, by end of day, beachhead secured. 34,000 men on shore. Beginning of Europe's liberation. High price, but success. Ray Lambert's awards. Silver Star, twice. For heroism in combat. Bronze Star, for merit. Purple Heart, 4 times. All wounds in one day. June 6th. And most important, the lives he saved. Can't be counted. Dozens, maybe hundreds, if you count the whole war. Each of these lives, someone's son, someone's brother, someone's father. Ray gave them a chance to return home. Life after the war. Ray returned to America, home to Alabama, but the war didn't leave him. It stayed with him. PTSD. Back then they called it shell shock or nervous breakdown. Didn't understand it. Didn't treat it. Nightmares about the beach, the sound of every wave. And he's there again. Among screams, blood, death, years of silence about that day. He didn't talk about Omaha, never. Too painful. 2001. Ray is 80 years old. He begins to speak. Veteran interviews. Meetings with school children. Tells his story. About June 6th. About what he saw. 2004. Returns to Omaha Beach. First time since 1944. 60 years have passed. He stands on the beach. Looks at the waves, tourists around, children playing, couples taking photos. They see a beautiful beach. Ray sees something else. Where tourists see waves, I see the faces of drowning men. 2019. Ray is 98 years old. He publishes his memoir, Every Man a Hero. The story finally told, 75 years after June 6th. In the book he writes about the beach, about the wounded, about his brother, about what it means to be a medic in war, and about the main lesson. Heroism is not the absence of fear. It's action despite fear. Every man is a hero if you give him a chance to become one. Omaha Beach today. Beach peaceful. Tourists walk. Children play in sand. Sea calm. Above, on the cliff, American Military Cemetery in Normandy. 9,387 white crosses. Row after row. Perfectly aligned. Under each, a man who didn't return home. The view from the cemetery overlooks Omaha Beach. That very beach. They watch the sea. Forever. Ray Lambert died in 2020. Age, 100 years. buried with military honors in America. But his story lives. Epilogue. Every summer, millions of tourists visit the beaches of Normandy. They see beautiful coastline, blue sky, white sand, waves. But if you close your eyes, if you listen, you can hear an echo of that day. Cries of the wounded, roar of artillery, splash of waves painted with blood. Ray Lambert carried these sounds within him for 76 years. Faces he tried to save, names he remembered, lives that passed through his hands. First wave medic, hero of Omaha Beach. A man who ran into fire to save others. Where tourists see waves, veterans see memory, historians see a turning point of the war, and we must see the price of freedom. And remember the names of those who paid it. Medic, hero, human being. One story among thousands of stories of June 6th. One life among millions changed by that war. Ray carried the memory of that day for 76 years, silently. Then, by telling. So we would remember. So we would know the price of what we have. On this channel, we try to preserve such stories. Every day, a new story about World War II, about those who fought, about those who survived, about those who didn't return. If these voices matter to you, we'd be glad if you stay with us. Share these stories with those for whom it might also be important. Tomorrow, we'll tell you about Soviet sniper Lyudmila Pavlichenko, about the woman who became the nightmare of the German army. 309 confirmed kills, a story that gives you chills. Because, as Ray Lambert said, every man is a hero, if you give him a chance to become one. See you tomorrow. Remember,